The New York Jets have done it. They're the latest team to bend the knee to Aaron Rodgers and his requests for players. Davante Adams, the latest one of those requests, trading for him from the Las Vegas Raiders via a conditional third/second round pick. We'll get into the details of that in a little bit. Of course, it's a weird spot because this team, its problems are not wide receiver related. Sure, a guy like Davante Adams, like Garrett Wilson, should absolutely go off and help things, but right now, in my opinion, there are two major flaws of this team, at least on the offensive side of the ball. First and foremost, it still stems from the offensive line. Call me crazy, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's only the games I've watched. Tyron Smith does not look like a 91 overall. I don't know what is going on with his overall here. He looks way worse than that. Not only is he committing a bunch of penalties, but I feel like he's getting beat constantly. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the games I watched. He had rough nights, but I swear Tyron Smith does not look anywhere near a 91 overall. And then, of course, Morgan Moses looks even lower than an 83 overall to me as well. The penalties also a concern, but just seemingly getting beat left and right. This is an offensive line that, in my opinion, has not played remotely well. But the second problem, I think, is still Aaron Rodgers. Of course, he's an older man. You can argue he's washed, quote-unquote. Still, at his age, he is a top 15-ish quarterback, which is not bad by any means. It's better than anything New York has had for a long time. But Rodgers, just like when he was with Green Bay, even during the MVP, the back-to-back MVP years, is still playing hero ball. Take what is right in front of you. Taking shots on, first downs, second downs, and not so long. Why are we taking the shot? Find the open man. Get that ball out quickly. Set up the short down situations. Don't know why Rodgers still plays the hero ball. It makes no sense to me. Injured last year because of, jerking his knee by trying to break a tackle at 40 years old, 39 years old, whatever he was at the time. Still doing that stuff, a little more gingerly, a little less sudden movements, still doing that stuff, getting himself sacked, putting himself in bad positions with bad throws. I genuinely don't know how a guy who, say what you want about conspiracy theories, if you want to call them that at this rate, is really smart, makes such dumb decisions. I don't know why he hasn't adjusted his play. He's way better than way he is playing right now, and I just genuinely don't get it. But on to the main topic, which is Davante Adams. The trade's not bad at all. The conditionalness of that trade, I don't even know if that's a word, is good for New York. You either have Davante Adams, who's obviously a bit down the list for a chance at All-Pro right now, needs to be an All-Pro 1 or 2 to get that pick up to a second-round pick. No matter how well Davante plays, he can literally be the best wide receiver from now till the end of the year. It's not super likely that he gets to that status, or they need to get to the championship round or higher, which, of course, Jets would easily trade one higher selection round-wise to make the championship round or above. So, honestly, this is a really good trade for the Jets, despite O-line being the concerns. The problem with that is, who do you replace? How do you get a new lineman onto this team? You can't. There's a lot of teams with offensive lineman issues. If it was that easy, they would fix their problems too. Another problem, the run game sucks. I don't know what's going on here. The blocking's just not great. Breece Hall just hasn't had a good season so far, and it's really not on him. The offensive line is just, it really hasn't played well, simply put. Play calling, definitely a problem. Not sure why Robert Saleh is getting the short end of the stick rather than Nathaniel Hackett. Once again, pointing towards this might be a Rodgers decision. Defensively, though, they've been a pretty good unit despite the injuries, despite the holdout of Hassan Reddick. Corners have been amazing. Their pass coverage in general has been pretty damn good. Their run defense, all things considered, isn't as bad as it could be. Once again, no Jermaine Johnson because of the season ender, no Hassan Reddick because of the holdout. This team could really use those two names right now, but it's still an above-average defense that is really just not getting as much help from their offense as they should be. They have had so many winnable games that they have dropped because they have just not done the minimum things necessary to win the game. Too many penalties, too much hero ball, too many unblocked rushers. This team has got an identity problem. They have a, I'm going to do it all on my own problem. They need to dial it back, control what they can control, and just take what the defense is giving them. Speaking of giving things, if you guys end up enjoying this video, maybe give the video a like. Subscribe if you're new. We do a ton of franchise stuff on the channel, including rebuilds like these or full franchise rebuilds like our Patriots and Saints franchises, where we're going to be playing start to finish until hopefully we win a Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls. Anyways, though, should have seen a couple videos earlier today. Maybe you'll see one tomorrow. If not, you'll see one on Monday. And if you have a team you want to see rebuilt next, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe you're like, hey, I want to see the Bills rebuilt with Amari Cooper now, or screw all these trades. I want to see a team that you haven't rebuilt yet and they aren't really talked about much right now. I don't know if I've done the Steelers. I don't think I have. Maybe you want to see the Steelers, speaking of on the screen right now. Let me know in the comment section below. But let's get into this rebuild. We're going to probably do 5 seasons unless we win a Super Bowl right away, because obviously Rodgers is a good chance he straight up retires, so I don't want this to be a 1-year rebuild. Even if we win the Super Bowl right away, we're going to do at least 3 seasons. 3 to 5 seasons, that's the range. Let's get it. Also, I never say let's get it, so I apologize. All right, I'm not really sure the plans for the New York Jets. I can almost guarantee Mike Williams will not be a Jet in 2025, so I'm not worried about that. Hassan Reddick, he's not even a Jet in 2024, so he's probably gone too. Tyron Smith might retire. In Madden, this is a great move, but in real life, like I said, unless I'm completely mistaken, I apologize, Tyron, if I am, I really don't think he's playing well. Maybe, like I said, I am completely mistaken, but I will say, very surprised that this team has the money they do. Sure, we have to pay Sauce. Sure, we have to pay Garrett Wilson and Jermaine Johnson. But $74 million right now, with really the only guy we absolutely have to pay being DJ Reed, I can live with this. Sure, we have to replace Hassan Reddick. Sure, we are looking like a tight end replacement and potentially left tackle replacement. But this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So maybe the Jets aren't as screwed salary cap-wise as I thought. Also, you would argue that Davante Adams probably means Rodgers is playing one more season. Probably, I think, assuming the Jets even want him here anymore, because I'm going to be honest, like I said, it hasn't been great. I'm really excited to see Rodgers and Davante, linking up again, but it hasn't been great. Also, another funny thing is, remember when Rodgers was leaving Green Bay, and it's like, the Packers haven't, he hasn't, I don't know if he actually quotely said it, but he has alluded to Green Bay hasn't given him enough decisions on who to bring in, hasn't given him enough decisions for, who they should maybe draft, that the weapons aren't good enough, yet moves to the Jets and wants all the weapons Green Bay already had, Cobb, Lazard, and now freaking Davante. Okay, buddy. And Hackett. And Hackett. It's like almost the whole offense. But also, shout out to EA for once. This might be me, praising them because a different game I play's dev team makes EA look like geniuses. But they actually had the Davante Adams trade, not even just him being on the Jets, but also the 3rd round pick to the Raiders in their latest roster update. So, shout out to them. They actually kind of on the ball a little bit. Wow. Someone at EA does not like the Jets. This team actually had a really good outlook. They actually turned it around really hard, and then had one of the most disappointing runs I have almost ever seen. This was a team, I believe, at one point that was 7-4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7-4, and lost 5 straight. I will say, losable games here. There are losable, right? The Dolphins right now don't look to be in a good place. It does seem like Miami is going to end up trotting to whatever, memories he even has left from his, the last 10 years of his life, whatever he's got left, they're looking like they're willing to trot him out at some point, it seems. So that might be a Tua game if he's still, not in a wheelchair. So they could lose that game. Seattle, you can always lose to Seattle. Jaguars, they're hot and cold. The Rams, hot and cold. They'll have all their receivers by then. Bills, they look like they're trending upwards, but you can't tell me that 1 or 2 of these games wasn't winnable. And we just didn't win them, right? Steelers, they're up and down right now as well. I would think that the Steelers are a tough game. Could have lost that one. Patriots should beat them. Texans probably should lose to them in fairness. Cardinals, you probably should beat them. Colts probably should beat them. But then you have these games where at least 2 of these games are winnable. And none of them happened, unfortunately. But I'm here to just rebuild the team as it stands. And this could be our only, chance with Rodgers. Rodgers might be gone. Davante seemingly going to have the same exact Derek Carr situation where he joins for Derek Carr. Derek Carr is gone. and then he joins for Rodgers. Not that it really had much of a choice. He wanted the trade, I'd imagine, probably pointed towards the Jets, I'd imagine, but not actually like his choice technically, but same situation. Will McDonald, not a bad season actually, 9.5 sacks, 8.5 for Quinnen. Their pass rush, Hassan Reddick holding out does not help. Jermaine Johnson being injured, what can he do? But that is tough. Zerline, he's looking really bad in real life, so it doesn't surprise me to see him finish like that. Really disappointing here, though, because, now this is going to be like a completely different rebuild in a moment where, the whole point of this was, okay, what can Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams do again together? Could they have one chance at this to, win a Super Bowl that they weren't able to win together? And it's instantly dead. We didn't even make the playoffs. We went 8-9. Super disappointed. The Jets fans would be pissed. Rodgers, does he retire? I don't know. But for us here in this rebuild, likely will retire. All right, here it is. Moment of truth. Do we have a quarterback problem? Well, you could argue we might already have one, but will we have a different quarterback problem? Here it is. Let's find out. It would be nice if he stayed around. Oh, did he stick around? Like 95% of the rebuilds I do, Aaron Rodgers retires after year 1. Is he still here? He's still here, but he's an 88 overall. Wow. Okay. We get a second year of Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to pull the Green Bay Packers Jordan Love thing, even though it was a good decision in the end. Sort of, yeah. It's hard to tell because Green Bay works so well with quarterbacks. Green Bay made Malik Willis look like, I wouldn't say a franchise quarterback, but a serviceable quarterback, while the Tennessee Titans made him look like he's never played the sport at all. Green Bay makes players look that good. So, quarterback specifically. So it's kind of hard to tell what would happen if they didn't have Love. Could they have developed someone else? But it's hard to tell because, Jordan Love ending right now looking really good. Pretty good decision. But at the time, you just come off of a championship loss. If they drafted at different positions, maybe a wide receiver or, a different lineman or a different defensive player, maybe they win a Super Bowl. And Super Bowls beat future every day of the week. Getting a future with Jordan Love means nothing if you could have won a Super Bowl, right? The Rams are, the perfect example of that. Not the greatest after the fact, but they won a Super Bowl, so you can't take that away from them. No one's going to be like, oh, yeah, well, they got Jordan Love. It's like, cool, you could have had a Super Bowl, which is cemented in history. I'm not saying they would have, but just saying, there's some give and pull with that. It's not so clear-cut that, Green Bay made the right call. So I don't know if we're going to go QB here. Hassan Reddick's back. It's not going to be. I'm not keeping him. I'm not keeping him. I get it. Hassan Reddick has seen how many edge rushers go to a new team and get paid. So many of them, right? Montez Sweat and Brian Burns and a bunch of different names. Khalil Mack when he went for to the Bears, and so many guys, and he didn't get that treatment. I get it, right? Like the Jets right now are like, hey, we got Rodgers for a year or two. We're not going to commit to anyone more than a year or two. But Hassan Reddick's like, that doesn't help me retire. It doesn't help me long term. So I get it, but at the same time, he's costing himself a lot of money and costing the Jets at a chance at greatness. So there's no way I can keep someone like that around. We'll have to replace him. So many positions to replace here, but what can you do? Is Quinnen, I would imagine he was a superstar X-Factor. He wasn't. They got a guy that high in the 90s doing it at a high level for the last couple of years and not a superstar X-Factor? That's crazy. Morgan Moses retires, but Fashanu. Is it Fashanu? I swear his name's pronounced Fashanu, even though it looks like Fashanu. He's the new right tackle, I guess. If we can keep Tyron Smith, I guess we'll do it because, once again, just like that Jets team in real life, trying to keep the team around for one more year. Sauce will do a 24 because it's going to cost us that much anyways. Garrett Wilson, I think we can get for cheaper. Hassan Reddick, once again, we talked about it, not a chance. Jermaine Johnson, I actually don't know if I want him long-term because his overall is not as good as I'd hope. So honestly, a $12 million deal is probably right where I'd want to pay. And then a 1 year 25 for Tyron. I offered that already, and he didn't want it. I can't imagine the tag's much more than that, though. We might even get him for cheaper here. Yeah, we get him for $3 million cheaper. I'm going to pay the tag just to give the team one more chance. Tyler Conklin, that's too much money. But yeah, we're a worse team than last year. And last year, I know 2-4 start because of real life didn't make the playoffs. So where does that put us going forward here? I really don't know. But we're going to try our best, whatever it takes, to build a potential Super Bowl winner right here. Javon Holland, going to free agency earlier than expected. Hassan Reddick. I'm only going to offer because I really want to see what the offers are and who it is. The Colts. Okay, even they're not really paying him that much. Ryan Kelly. This team does need O-line pretty bad, so if we can bring in Ryan Kelly, who I've brought in so many rebuilds now, I know it's super overdone. That would be massive. Green Bay, that makes a lot of sense, I will admit. Khalil Mack, we just talked about. I mean, we're really putting ourselves against it here, but these types of additions are the types of additions you make when you're trying to win it all right now. And that's what we're trying to do. David Bakhtiari, oh God. That was another name that everyone was like, well, clearly he's going to be a Jet at some point too. We have a lot of other needs, but those are the two names that I really want the most. I really hope we get them. And we do. Ryan Kelly and Khalil Mack on the team. They're both Jets. I think that's a pretty big set of signings. Pretty massive. Khalil Mack going to be playing edge for us. And obviously Ryan Kelly at center, which is probably going to move Joe Tippmann over. He's a big fella. He can easily play guard. So, yeah, offensive line is in a pretty good spot. Arguably, I wouldn't say arguably better, but maybe better, right? Because like I said, I don't think the tackles that New York has right now are really playing particularly well. Honestly, I'm surprised they're playing at all, because those are two guys that definitely have had some injury concerns, and obviously they're on the older side now, so surprising they're holding up at all, to be fair. But yeah, I think we're debatably in a better spot right now. A great center is very underrated. That would be a really crazy dynamic, though, Khalil Mack joining Rodgers rather than abusing him. I still remember the back sack that Khalil Mack had. It is not common. It's crazy because that was like, Rodgers wasn't, he wasn't young, but he wasn't as old as he is now. But that was a play where Rodgers kind of got sacked because he gave himself up. He never gives himself up, which tells me that Mack did scare the hell out of him, I think. I think he's seen Mack. He's like, oh, hell no. But yeah, on his team for once. And of course, All-Pro, Championship, Super Bowl, that didn't happen. So the Raiders would be getting that third-round pick. This is the picks we're going to have. 1 through 6, but double 6. So better than a normal draft. Debatably, that third-round pick is also surprisingly like right around where our third-round pick would be anyways. Like, it actually might be like 1 or 2 picks equal. Yeah, 78. It's actually like better, which is kind of surprising. Detroit really dropped off that hard. I mean, once again, proving that Sim is crazy. This is going to be the earliest we change schemes, but I am going to change to Green Bay's scheme. I don't know why it's not even just sitting at Green Bay. It's basically Green Bay's scheme, right? Because it's freaking Hackett anyways. We'll go Green Bay's scheme on offense, Jets on defense, even though Salah's no longer there. And we'll see what happens. All right, here we are all the way at pick number 14. The defensive line, the safety position is probably our biggest needs. Technically, you could argue, offensive line, but I think we've done a good enough job in this offseason to fix that a little bit. And really, the defensive side of the ball on paper is the problem. Technically, quarterback as well, but the whole kind of point of this experimental type of rebuild is the fact that, we'll be able to... Ooh, Sawyer went all the way at 9. We'll be able to see, if Davante and Travis Hunter's still there, by the way. If Davante and Rodgers can do something. But let's take a look at across the board here. Obviously, you do have Travis Hunter still there. Really do need a pass rusher, I think. Who do we got? So we have Nolan, who's a 1-2 type. Walter Nolan could be a great choice, though. And I also do like that outside linebacker I think we had. Was his name Carter? Not sure who exactly I want to go for out of the bunch, but like I said, we do need that position. There goes Abdul Carter, A block shed, A pursuit, super athletic. Looks to me like a pass rusher. I think I'm willing to take either one of them, so we're going to just move down until it's down to one of them. It could be like as soon as right now. Right now, I will say of the two to go, I do think I'm glad that it was Nolan versus the edge rusher. I think Carter, we need an edge rusher badly. You could argue we need 2. It's just for now, we'll obviously have Mack as our starter. 4th round pick isn't enough. It's only 3 spots. It's very close, thankfully. I really did not want to give up a 3rd or higher. And with that, we will not make the trade. I guess we're going to have to trade a 2nd round, 7th next year, maybe even that 6th this. I'm going to just give him a 6th round next year. Let's get this out of the way. Boom. Only moved, didn't cost us too much to move 3 spots. And with that, we're going to, I think, take Carter. Pretty sure Travis Hunter's still there, by the way, but arguably he's going to go higher than that. Could move him at wide receiver if we wanted to. Definitely a positional need after Davante is gone, which will be sooner than later. But as of this possible moment, it's the defense that needs all the work. Make sure there's no other corners that are potentially there. We could even put Travis Hunter, I don't know if I would fit him at safety, but could be done. But I think we're going to go Abdul Carter. I think we've sold ourselves on the need for pass rush. Abdul Carter, please be hidden dev. 61 true, hidden dev. Very athletic. That's all that matters. We then move on to the second round. Pick 14 might even be a trade down as we need a lot of things. We could use a DT. We could use both safeties. We could use an off-ball linebacker. I'm really talking, freaking Starks, dude. Starks is there. We just drafted him in our last rebuild, and he was pretty damn good. I need safety desperately. I don't know if I want to go with the exact same move, but at the same time, I really need a safety badly. I need DT linebacker as well, but I just don't think I can pass on Starks, so I'm going to take Malachi Starks. Welcome back. Welcome back, dude. True Talent 19, hidden dev. Back-to-back rebuilds where we take him. He's so good, though. Give him some credit. And now in the third round, we could live with the DTs we have. Linebacker/safety, though, is still a very prevalent need. So at this point, we're probably going to go with best available between the DTs, the linebacker, and the safety, which it looks like safety. Maybe we go McMillan later on. Doesn't look to be a very viable position for us to grab. DTs, I can't remember who was good out of this group. I think they were okay, but no one that jumped off the page. They actually are pretty good. Turner and Ritzy, I think we drafted Turner and he was normal, right? And then maybe he was hidden. I think Turner might have actually been hidden. I don't want to do the exact same rebuild, though. Did we look at Ritzy? I can't remember. I'm going to take Ritzy, I think. It's a different... We didn't grab him last time, so... Ritzy, True Talent 184, normal dev. I made a bad decision. Should have went with Turner. Or I should have went with one of the damn linebackers, because that's another positional need. Round 5, McMillan's a UDFA, I think, but you don't know when those guys are going to go. Still going to probably look for best available. A lot of the players we're looking at are gone, though. Hassanain, Ahmed, yeah. That's who. He's an interesting name. What about Frazier? I think he might be hidden. What about wide receiver? We have Higgins, who's tall, Jalen Knoll, who's not tall. That's basically what I know about these two guys. Caleb Johnson looks great, too. You know what? I'm going to take McMillan first. I think he had good enough speed with good enough zone. You can see the left side says good, so that's who I'm going to take. And then I might take Caleb Johnson, even though we don't really need running back. McMillan, if we have no other options, which I'm pretty sure both of our other options are like 26 and older, and they're under 70 overall, he might just start. Don't know what his overall is going to be, but he might just straight up start. Caleb Johnson, though, looks great, so if he's there, I might have to take him. He is, you know what, I think Frazier might be more important. Frazier, who I think might be hidden. This is a little cheese of us, if he actually is. Oh, he's not. Okay, it's not cheese. I thought he was hidden. I'm wrong. Then we go Caleb Johnson at 30 in the 6th round. Didn't necessarily fill what we needed to. We really needed a freaking linebacker, and we just didn't get that. Caleb Johnson, add another really talented running back to this squad, because that's what we need. Normal dev, 31 true talent. All right, taking a look at the team. Carter is a 73 overall. Starks, 76. Ritzy, we don't talk about. McMillan, 69. That's not bad. Frazier, 68. That's not bad. And then Caleb Johnson at 74 is obviously pretty good. Let's take a look at Abdul Carter. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this glitch. You see the devs right away now. He's going to be our new right end. I think is it right end, left end? I don't know. But he's going to be the starter, I think, because of potential opposite side of Mac. There was ever a year to start someone such a low overall, such a, not even raw, but like new player, it would be the year you got Mac on the other side. He's going to help him out tremendously. Starks, automatic starter, strong safety, of course. And then we have Ritzy, who, I mean, we've seen the low overalls develop, so why not? I mean, he's really solid looking. Yeah, I'm going to start him. I'm going to start him at DT2. He's got potential. He could easily be a 75 overall by the end of even the regular season. And then McMillan is going to be a starter at free safety. 2 tall safeties, in fairness. So we got ourselves some height back there. Maybe not the best players, but pretty athletic, pretty tall. That's about as good as you're going to get sometimes. And then I do want to see Caleb Johnson. Frazier, he's just depth, I suppose. Didn't get a linebacker like we wanted, but this team's already filled with a bunch of veteran types, so why not try to find another one in free agency? Here we go. Packers O. Oh, crap. I completely forgot about the tight end position. I guess Ruckert's going to have to step up like they were hoping he would. And the Jets D. This is the new look Jets. Skill positions look pretty much the same. Offensive line, you could argue, is better, as Fashanu at right tackle is, the difference, the loss, if you will, versus Morgan Moses. But center's way better because Tippmann moves over to guard, and he's a 80 overall at it, which is great. Looking like Kurt Russell in The Thing, by the way. I like the look. Defensively, linebackers, we add Eric Kendricks and Deion Jones to have that veteran presence that we already have, but, amplified even more. Safety Starks is going to be a great addition. McMillan will hope he gets a dev up. Ritzy, these low overall DTs, I don't know what it is, what it's in the water. These guys always developed really well, so we're hoping that happens again here. Carter, the 74 overall. We're kind of screwing Jermaine Johnson over here, but in real life, he's a better name than he is in game. 26 years old, 80 power move. It's not a good look. It's not great, but he's the backup at all positions, so he still could have a good year as the rotational guy. The Jets love their edge depth, and for the first time in a little while, we actually have that back for them. Mack on left end, maybe he can carry. Can we get this team to a Super Bowl? That would be great. But will it happen? Here we go. A lot of money, but a lot of players to resign. Breece Hall, yes. Garrett Wilson, obviously, yes. AVT, probably. Quincy, unlikely. Gibson, no. Tyron, no, because he's going to retire. Mack, no. Kelly, maybe. Ruckert's a higher overall now all of a sudden than I thought he would be. We're going to have to take a look at what those numbers look like, because if he's actually playing well, we might have to sign him. Rodgers, almost guaranteed not, because he is just going to straight up retire on us. And then Riley Patterson, you know what? I can interchange kicker. In real life, it doesn't really work like that, but in game, the kicking is so purely random. There's no point in rewarding a guy for kicking because he could literally never have a good season again. And I know that happens in real life, but it's a little less likely, in fairness. And Rucker looks like crap. And I got to say, we're having an amazing year. Year 1 sucked ass. Year 2, not bad. Please tell me we get the bye week. Please tell me we get the bye week. Please tell me we get the bye week. We get the bye week. 14-3, the number 1 seed in the AFC. Holy crap, 13-4 gets you the 3 seed if you're the Chiefs. That sucks. Okay, so we crawled year 1 so we could full-on Usain Bolt our ass in year 2. Ran the same scheme we talked about, the Packers O and the Jets defense. Very big hiccup early on. 1-3, that sucks. Really good finish, though. 1-3, and then just won 11 straight. 13 straight. That's the number. That's the number. Don't wear it out. Not half bad. The team is looking like what, was kind of almost promised to the Jets fans when Rodgers first arrived. I got to say also, this low of an overall of Rodgers, and yet he's still doing well. 79 overall, I will say, it's harsh to say 79 overall because it does not look like somebody with 79 overall. 93 throw power, I will say 83 deep is kind of crappy, and 83 medium's not great, but 90 short, 88 throw on the run, 85 play action, 85 under pressure, 86 or 84 break sack. It's really just that awareness that's kind of hurting them. So definitely, as we can see here, good enough to win this team a Super Bowl. But yeah, awesome season. Breece Hall was great. Davante was solid. Garrett Wilson was solid. Lazard even was solid. Tight end was as good as you could ever expect because he's a low overall. Offensive line, AVT, who we paid a 4-year $64 to, which is low end in real life, was great. Same with Tippmann. O-line, I was expecting worse, so I'll take it. Pass rush-wise, Ritzy with 11.5. Mack, not so good, though. Carter, not so good. Disappointing. Sauce Gardner, Quincy Williams, Malachi Starks, great with the picks. Tackles, 111 for Quincy, 106 for Mosley. Morstead was apparently the kicker, even though I signed Riley Patterson before the season started. But he had a great year, so give this guy $10 million per year. He's a dual threat. But let's take a look at yearly awards. Where was Rodgers an MVP? Apparently all the way down to 6, but that's not terrible for his age and overall. Any award wins at all for us, though? Rookie of the Year, Ritzy. Could go straight to Superstar. We talked about it. Breece Hall should be an X factor. Davante, great season. Garrett Wilson, not bad at number 9. Pretty good season, too. AVT at 3. Tippmann at 8. D-line at number 1 and 8. The DTs went off. Quincy Williams at 10. I thought he would have been higher than that with the picks alone. DBs at number 1 and 6 with Gardner and Starks. And then kicking, we had a punter. That's all I can say. We're going to put Riley Patterson there now. We don't know why. He literally didn't even play this year. He getting paid to just sit, which is very interesting. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't just put him in there. He's pretty similar in overall. So whatever Morstead did, you could argue that's what he would have done. But that's a dub. Maybe the last season we see with Rodgers, but impressive to see where this team really is. Could be a one-and-done situation. We've seen it with the Packers and, Rodgers multiple times, but I'm hoping for a freaking year, dude. If we can win a Super Bowl, that would be awesome. All right, here it is, end of the game with that bye week, 7-0. Really not looking great on offense. Defense gives us the ball, though, 7-7, 14-7, 14 all, and that will be the score at half. Come on, Jets, up by 7. The Ravens score 3. A touchdown could do it. A field goal won't, though. The Ravens do score a touchdown. 2nd and 13 is not looking good. 3rd and 9, not looking good. 4th and 2, you got to go for this. What is the decision? 5 minutes left. Nah, you got to go for this. Your defense hasn't been great. Offense needs to just get the job done. I don't care how it gets done. It just needs to happen. With the blitz, Brees might be wide. It's not a blitz, but Brees gets open enough. The slants act as almost like a kind of, what the hell is the damn thing called? Look at that guy's neck in the background, by the way. A pick play, that's what I'm thinking of. Looked like a pick play almost with the slants. Really good drive. Maybe gave the Ravens too much time with 2 minutes to operate. 4th and inches, though. They get it. They're running the ball too much, though. With a 9-yard sack by Ritzy, it could be over. Wow, they're going backwards. They don't know which way to go. They get turnover on downs by Sheffield, and the Jets are moving on to the championship round. Wow, you could argue, he came in and converted a 4th and 2. Yeah, real hard to do. The team was able to come back from a 2nd and 13 situation. Rodgers was pretty good. Brees Hall was pretty good. Lamar with a rushing touchdown. Who would have expected it? He's basically their whole offense. Sacks. Ritzy had that huge sack right at the end of the game. Eric Kendricks, the old man, with a pick. And Justin Tucker, of all players, missing a field goal. Here we go to the championship round. Is it going to be the Chiefs? The Jaguars, a team we actually lost to earlier in the year. 4 overalls lower than us, though. Will the Jets win a Super Bowl? Here we go to the end of the game. Can we make this Super Bowl? This team, the Jets, they have seen, their team slug along towards a championship round with Mark Sanchez twice. Just not the Super Bowl in a very, very long time. 38-22, looking pretty good. 38-30. And we do just enough to make the Super Bowl. Rodgers and the Jets are headed to the big one. Take a look at those numbers. Wow, Trevor Lawrence threw 3 interceptions. We still almost lost. Rodgers was really, really good, though. A lot of rushing touchdowns in there. Receiving was pretty good with Davante Adams at 113. Gary Wilson at 92. Lazard at 115. You got pretty much everyone contributing in that one. Defensively, our sacks came from Starks, really. Quincy Williams with 3 picks. We might have to find a way to keep him. And I really didn't think I would, but he is going off this year. To the Super Bowl, please don't be the Cowboys. Just don't be the Cowboys. The Rams, another team we lost to, right? Or was that the year before? I can't remember. Super Bowl time, though, against the Rams. Let's see what dev-ups we had. Rodgers probably goes to X Factor. I can't say for sure, but probably does. Garrett Wilson would be a long stretch to get to Superstar. It'd be great if he did, though. Brees Hall goes to Superstar X Factor. That's a huge dev-up, actually. Nice. We'll take that. Obviously, Davante already an X Factor. Rodgers, I don't really have a horse in the race to boost his overall. I would imagine he's retiring after this year, guaranteed. If he doesn't, maybe I do re-sign him, so I suppose it makes sense to take a look. Defensively, Ritzy goes to Superstar as expected. Starks goes to Superstar, which I believe in that Raiders rebuild, that's when we drafted him, pretty sure. I don't think he went to Superstar throughout that whole thing. We did 6 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So, pretty impressive to get it after 1 year with Starks here in this one. And then nobody else goes up in development trade, unfortunately. But still, the guys we did get up, fair enough, right? Ritzy all the way to Superstar, which is, super deserved. The year he had was great. Look at him. This is why we start these guys, low overall or not. This year, more than ever, you're really never out of it. You always have a chance to develop this year, even if you're 24. It's crazy, which normally you just don't see that. But the 9-8 Rams, if there was ever a chance to win it, here it would be. Could it be a year 2? I think we did the last Jets rebuild we did. It was a complete failure, right? Rodgers retired without even sniffing the Super Bowl, I think. Of course, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how that went. Either way, 7-3, 10-7. The Rams are not the Rams are not making this easy. I'm not saying I expected this to be an easy win, but I expected us to be in the lead for the majority of the game, and here we are in the second half doing just that. Only a 7-point game. Could be the win. The Rams aren't going away. Come on, offense. In field goal range. Not going to give them the ball back. And we're going to win the Super Bowl with Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Lazard's even still here. As a Packers fan, I wouldn't even complain about it. You know, I'm not saying I would be rooting for the Jets to win, but I wouldn't be rooting against them because, well, it kind of seems like, you know, the talks are Rodgers wanted out and he wanted to go to the Jets. I truly do think the decision to move on from Rodgers was vastly majority Green Bay because, you know, the timing for Love was then. If they didn't start Love last season, it would have been a situation where they're paying a lot of money for a guy they have no idea about. And the contract that people thought, you know, was too much money for, you know, 1 season worth of play would have had to be talked about for a guy that didn't play at all. So the timing, I guarantee it was Green Bay, and Rodgers, you know, of course, had to try to play the narrative that he wanted out. The front office absolutely would not decline that, right? You have Rodgers saying he wants out. That completely saves the franchise if Love sucked, right? So Rodgers gets the, you know, the publicity that he wasn't kicked out, he wasn't fired, it was his decision. And then the front office gets the protection that if Love sucks, well, what could they do? Rodgers wanted to leave. That's the way I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think I'm right, though. Looking at Rodgers, talking about the actual Jets now, 4-2, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, 355 yards. I think he would be a crazy person to not retire here. This would be the perfect time to retire. Truly retiring on top. We have seen this happen so many times where a player overstays their welcome. I mean, you could even argue Rodgers right now in real life is said player, and it just looks bad at the end. Like, I can't remember the last time somebody, like, truly retired on top. Like, I know, you know, Peyton Manning won that Super Bowl, but you could argue that it was, like, his ugliest season by a far, even his rookie year. So it's weird because, you know, he retired with that ring, but also he kind of, you know, didn't look so hot. Which I also don't feel people talk about enough. Like, it is actually insane that that Broncos team won a Super Bowl with how Peyton played that year. It is crazy. Like, we all want to talk about, you know, kind of like one of the crazier ones is Nick Foles, you know, taking over for the hurt Carson Wentz and winning the Super Bowl. That's not even in the same realm, in my opinion, of how Denver was able to win a Super Bowl with Peyton at QB. Nick Foles wasn't a bad QB, and they were stacked top to bottom. The Broncos, they were good, but Peyton, I mean, that was like an anchor tied to an anchor tied to an anchor. I mean, that's insane. But of course, let's see if Rodgers retires. He probably will. We'll do 2 more seasons, I think, just to kind of see what the aftermath looks like. But you win a Super Bowl in similar to Rams fashion, and no matter what happens, even the next 5 to 10 years, it was all worth it. It was absolutely all worth it. And hell, even in real life right now, even if Rodgers doesn't even take them to the playoffs one time, I argue it's worth it. And I'll tell you why in a second. As Rodgers doesn't retire, what are we doing? But the reason why I say that is because when's the last time you've seen this much publicity, this much hope, this much hype from and towards the Jets camp? Like, never? Like, I mean, there's more hype now. There was more hype when Rodgers would come into the Jets than when we were talking about the Jets making the championship round back-to-back years. Like, it was just always one of those, like, okay, this is going to be the week they lose. Okay, this is going to be the week they lose. Yes, this defense is great, but, like, this can't keep continuing. Whereas now, you know, people are like, they got a chance to win it all, you know, like, instantly. So even just, like, the hope for, because once again, we got to talk about the NFL as an entertainment business. At the end of the day, if our favorite team wins 10 Super Bowls in a row or never touches the Super Bowl for 50 years, it doesn't technically, physically matter to us, but it's all about the fun, right? And having hope, having a reason to watch is part of that entertainment. But yeah, I think because Rodgers decided not to retire, somehow, some way, you got to find a way to keep him. What overall is he? 78, 76? Jesus Christ. This guy's an old man. We'll see what we can do here. Freaking Brady was like 46 and like a 90 overall in the game, or like 88, something like that. This is kind of crazy, but we'll see what we can do retirement-wise. I mean, it shouldn't cost us that much to keep Rodgers, right? 60 mil, so we can keep him no matter what, but it shouldn't be more than 20. Quincy didn't go up in dev, which is stupid, by the way. I don't think we can keep him. I think we had to get rid of him. Tyron's still here. I mean, he was part of this Super Bowl winning roster. I'm going to do it. Glad he stayed. I should have checked Rodgers before doing that contract, by the way. Mac, I'm surprised, hasn't regressed into, like, the floor, by the way. Where is Rodgers? Damn, he wants this much money, though? I mean, he was insane, to be fair. 1 year 35, pretty much. And we have 400K. Let's actually pull the offer on Ryan Kelly so we can at least operate. I think we should have like 11 mil left after that. And yeah, the team is going to be relegating or regressing pretty hard in talent at some positions, but we'll manage. We always do. Just need to get a lot of linebackers, really. That's really where our problem is, linebacker. And then obviously you have Davante Adams is down to like an 84, 85 overall. This team is truly the retirement squad right now. But, I mean, they just won a Super Bowl. You got to find a way to keep them going. Davante Adams, what is his overall? He is so slow. He is so slow, but hey, he's still got pretty good route running and release. Garrett Wilson obviously is the true number one of this team, so let's adjust accordingly. And I don't know how Rodgers would feel about us getting rid of Alan Lazard, but that might be our only way to get a little bit of money back. Kind of, sort of, ish. You gain technically $6 million this year if you released him. But yeah, we need a tight end. We need a center. We need a linebacker. We need 3 linebackers. And we can live with everything else. I think, we can live without anything else. I would preferably like to get 1 linebacker if possible. Mark Andrews. Don't do it to me. Don't tempt me, game. I'll freaking do it, dude. I do not care. We need off-ball linebacker pretty bad, though. Let's see if we can try to get that. And if we can't, I might just go for Mark Andrews and just get crazy with it. Quay Walker, though, that's a lot of money, but he is probably worth it. 82 overall at 26. That's like right at the cusp of, like, I don't know if it's worth it. How much is that? It's a 5-year deal. It's 9. I don't know. 5-year 60. Where are we looking at? Another former Packer. We can offer it. I just don't know if it's worth it. Man, we need a lot of linebackers. I think it is worth it just on the default of having no one right now. I think it's probably worth it. How much is this anyways? 14 mil per year is a lot for a guy that I don't know if he's going to last that long. We're putting a lot of risk in a player that just doesn't deserve that kind of respect at this point based on his overall. But I might have no choice because I need a linebacker badly. I really wish it wasn't that many years. Can I get that down to like a 3-year deal? And I'd rather pay more per year and have it as a 3-year than to pay what we were about to pay. 3 or 45 would be great. We're not going to get him if we offer this, though. Let's see what his overall is. Like his actual ratings. It's going to be pretty raw, though. Coverage is bad. Yeah, I'm going to do a 3 or 45. That's going to be my max. I don't want to lock him in that long. 3 or 40. Was it 3 or 42? I don't care. Whatever. That's the offer. Simply put, that's the offer. Mark Andrews would be great, but I think we're just going to draft a tight end. And yeah, we'll do what we can with the other positions of need, like linebacker. And we actually get Quay Walker in a 3 or 42. Okay, that was a massive signing. I, however, am going to be moving him back to middle linebacker rather than off ball out. We're just going to put him straight in the middle. He's going to be the guy. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good contract for us. I'll take it. I can live with that. Did not want to do the 5-year deal. Paid a little more per year, but 2 years less. That's great. And the Chargers get Mark Andrews, which is very interesting. Purdy's a Patriot. Travarius Ward is a Ram. All right. We know we need a draft, and it got a little easier getting Quay Walker. All right, another draft, debatably the last draft with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. Quarterback was a thought of ours. We did have that as our focus scouting on the year because, well, we thought Rodgers was going to be gone. Didn't really like anyone here. You got a couple of 2 to 3s that maybe they're the answer, maybe they're the guys, but I truly do believe when they say 2 to 3 talent grade, that's what they are. I don't feel like that's a good decision to make, especially with Rodgers still on the roster. I don't think he could complain the same he did, when Jordan Love was drafted. It's a bit of a different situation. It's way further down the list of age. I mean, at this point, with the way his overall is, it would basically be him before the season started telling the front office, hey, this is my last year. That's basically the situation we're in. This is the last year, 100% with him. And yeah, you can't really complain as a player when you basically tell them that this is your last year. As far as, the situations go for our options here, not a huge fan of the players. Julian Gibson, future wide receiver, could be on our list. He's a 1 to 2, 2 to 3 true talent, though. And you have Covington, who don't even see the combine, but that is something to list when you're looking at these players, because a lot of the times when they skip the combine, they are actually pretty good. What I like to go for in this one is an offensive lineman for sure. We need one lineman. We need a tight end. We could use a wide receiver. Don't actually need one just yet. We could use 2 linebackers, an edge, and potentially safety. We don't actually need edge just this moment, so I'm not too pushed on it. But we could go with, one of these day 3/UDFA types later on and be fine with it. I truly think the best thing to do, though, would be to move this pick down to the late second, which we already possess a pick for, and just grab those positions of need. I think we need to fill a roster out right now, and if we don't make a trade down, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Niners offering me a decent trade here, but I truly think we need to stay in this draft and grab as much as we can for the end of the second, early into the third. Ooh, is this new? I can't tell. This feels smoother. Like, this is moving kind of nicely. Am I crazy? It's kind of moving nicely. Okay. I just had to speak. It started to slow down drastically. I don't know if this is even a fair trade, but I'm going to start high like I always do. I was going to say I'm going to start high like I always do and then work from there. Okay, we just have the Rams draft picks. Fair enough. And we don't even get to see what they take because they were the last pick of the first round, which is what we gave them. But either way, let's move down to, ironically enough, the Rams trading into the first round. That's crazy. But yeah, let's move down here a little bit. Safety wasn't that high on my priority list. I had it listed as a position of need, but not a position that I actually scouted because I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to get to it. I don't think I'm going to get to safety, but a couple of 1 to 2s still here definitely, kind of opens the door a little bit for that. We have a bunch of tight ends. They're all pretty, average in speed. Nothing really too crazy going on here. A couple of 4.6s, a 4.5 in there, and Covington, probably the best when it comes to pure athleticism, but is he the best as a pure player? I don't know. I don't know if I want to grab Covington right away because he is one of many, and I mean many, tight ends available. We have a bunch of linebackers. Moss would probably be the number 1 guy on my list, if not Griffin, because of that speed once again. 6'3", B zone coverage, really elite athlete. What do you do here? Because you have so many options. You have to make the choice, and I hate doing that. You guys know I love to let the AI choose for me, but you know what? I actually am going to go back on what I said. I'm going Kyle Covington. I like the fact that he's the fastest of the bunch. And that's not much. 84 speed, 84 excel, normal dev. That is not really that fast if we're going to be real. We need O-line as well. Is there a guy that maybe stands out more than the rest? 2 to 3, Coakley. We need a center. He fits that bill. Is he the best available, though? Yeah, he looks pretty good. Let's go with Mr. Alex Coakley. And that's hopefully... I can live with a tight end being normal, but not a lineman. Oh, but I have to. Wow, this draft sucks. This draft is pain, dude. So I don't like choosing. Because I make the wrong choices. And it's not even my fault. Based on the information we had, we didn't make the wrong call. We just got unlucky. And Moss goes above everyone else to the Lions. So that tells me that we actually did have the right player in mind at linebacker and decided not to go with him. That's sweet. Bears and the Bengals with tight ends that we had on our list. That's great. Can't wait to see those guys be better than ours. Super fun. That really does suck. Are the quarterbacks still there? Okay, 2 to 3 are still there. Fair enough. That sucks so much. We need another linebacker. Not even another. We need a linebacker in general. I don't even know who the hell we want because most of these outsides are actually pass rushers. Actually, not most, but 2 of them are. Roland and Roberts, both pass rushers. They both look decent, too, I will say. What do we want to do here, though? I really don't know what we want to do. Barkley, was he one of the fast guys? I can't remember who was fast. Odin. Pro Day. I mean, I'm going to have to trade up for someone at some point here, right? Griffin was the fastest remaining. Kind of raw, though. His change direction isn't great. So I guess we'll just... We need 2 linebackers, though. Odin looks good. He's just not as fast. So we're going to just end up trading for whoever's best available, right? Barkley, Griffin, Odin, Griffin, Jeffrey. I'm just hoping Griffin's the last one remaining. Jeffrey and Griffin, I think, would be a good combo, but we'll see who's there because we got to... we don't have much trade capital, really, so we got to go as late as we can with this stuff and just hope that we don't have to trade up too high. And there goes Jeffrey. So I'm going to trade up now to the Niners to try and get Griffin. I had a feeling I was overtrading, but a 4th and a 5th this with a 4th next to move up to the Niners. It was late picks for all of them, so I can't imagine it was by much. Maybe we could have got a 5th or a 6th back from them, but that is the gist of that. We are going to be going for Griffin. That was the guy I kind of had my eye on the most. Probably going to be raw, but can we get a hidden dev player? 45 true, that's not bad. And he is hidden. That's a great pick. Finally, a little bit of a win. We, of course, with that trade, did keep 31, which keeps the door open for a second linebacker, which we desperately need. We, of course, have Quay Walker already, and then we just need one more linebacker to mix in. Ooh, there goes Barkley. Mix in with the rookie we just drafted to fill out the linebackers. Odin, I believe, is the final guy. The problem is, even though he looks good, he is the slowest, but that left side looks great. So I am going to trade up from 31 to Seattle, grab Odin, and hopefully, even though the first 2 picks weren't that great, finish out with a decent draft. We traded a 7th round pick to do so. Obviously, it's only a couple of picks, so even then, we probably could have moved that for a next year 7th or, maybe even a future after that 7th. But with this one, we are going to be grabbing Mr. Odin, TJ Odin. He is our last linebacker choice. True talent 82, not looking good. Normal dev, damn. And it says, talking about how he's not that fast. Instincts will need to make up for lack of speed. He's actually a little more athletic than I thought. 85 speed, 88 excel, 90 agility, 78 change direction, 86 jumping is actually really good. Obviously, at 6 foot tall, 226, 228, whatever that was. Not the best, but definitely usable. I've seen, 90 speed guys with 71, 72 change of direction, and that change of direction plays a huge factor. Let's see if there's anyone remaining for their final pick of this draft. And there is a pass rusher, Andy Heck, I suppose. B power move. Not very fast. Is he worth taking, though? Probably not. Let's take a look at Williamson. He wasn't that fast. He was fast-ish, but he's got that athleticism. Do I go with a kicker, maybe? And you know what? Even though it's disgusting, I'm going to go for a different wide receiver. Rayshawn Cummings. He actually looks pretty damn good to me. 2 to 3 as well. True talent 150. Normal dev. You could work with that, though, if you had to. All right, we only have 8 million left, but for the most part, I think we took care of all the positions we needed to. 73 overall for the tight end, 73 for the left guard, 73 for the middle linebacker, 71 for the outside linebacker. Griffin was star dev, the only actual hidden dev that we took. Does look really good, though, I will admit. He actually looks, he's very balanced in shedding and coverage as far as a rookie goes. Brand new linebackers. We go from, the oldest linebacking group in the league to, I would assume, the youngest, at least when it comes to actually being good and developable. Kyle Covington, he's got all the catching traits, which is pretty cool. Decent short route and medium route. Good catch, I suppose. There were so many tight ends that we had there, though, that were all kind of similar looking. I definitely want to see how our guy ranks. Coakley, 73 overall. There's a bunch of linemen that were there, and it would be impossible for not at least one of them to be hidden, so we definitely made the wrong call with him, unfortunately. And then Odin, who will be playing right outside linebacker, is only a 71 overall, but also pretty damn balanced. The overalls aren't really there, but as far as true ratings go, the attributes aren't terrible. I actually think they're cool. Good, and the arm gear he has on is pretty cool. I guess, we did also land that second round next year from the Rams, who without Stafford could be terrible for all we know. But yeah, I guess we'll take a look at some of the positions we did pass on, or players of positions we passed on. Buchanan, star dev, sweet, glad to have passed on him. Wilkins, also star development trait, glad to have passed on him as well. James, this is a joke. And then Goldberg, thankfully also normal dev, not that fast, but holy crap. The odds of us being that bad at picking and choosing is crazy, but truthful. Also, was it Jeffrey? I had Jeffrey on my list, but I think Barkley was the guy I really wanted. Jeffrey's pretty good, but he's one of those prototypical block-shedding types. What about Barkley? Oh, no, Moss was up there, too. 70 overall. Ooh. Dodged a little bit of a bullet there. As far as a user goes, though, you care about the speed, so that's all that really matters. But, yeah, dodged a little bit of a bullet there. And then Barkley, one pick before our guy, actually looks debatably worse, even though he's a little faster. Really the big mistake, because I can't even really call the tight end a mistake, because it's only one dev. It's the offensive lineman. That was really the kind of sucky one, but I think we did about as well as we could with how many needs we had, selecting at 32 without a third-round pick to go with it. So we did what we could with a really slim salary cap. All right, Season 3, Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers are still here somehow. I am genuinely surprised. Aaron Rodgers usually retires after year 1. There's no way for me to, force him to stick around. The only way you could kind of do that is if you were to drop his age to, 30 or something and then go on. But the age maxes out at 40, so there would be no way for me to actually make him 42 right now. So we've let it ride, and despite being a pretty low overall and not having the best of ratings anymore, last season he was actually really good. Of course, still regressed even further this year. But yeah, I mean, this is one of his best seasons in his career, in the top 5, right? Just about. So the fact that he was able to do that as a low overall gives me hope that maybe he can still do it again. Only one of 2 70% plus completion percentage seasons. The team definitely did take a bit of a step back with the high overalls, but future-wise, just enough talent-wise right now, I think we could still see a chance at a Super Bowl this year, and then, of course, the year after, we're looking okay if we get some of those dev-ups we're kind of projecting. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for this season. Contract-wise, Sauce Gardner wants a lot of money. Tippmann wants a decent bit of money. Jermaine Johnson wants a decent bit of money. Same with Will McDonald. Davante is 100% gone. So is Rodgers. Tyron's probably going to retire. Maybe if he sticks around, we'll have that conversation when it arises. But, yeah, our money isn't actually that much of a problem. So I'm not too worried about it. But, yeah, definitely keeping Sauce. Probably keeping Tippmann. And then if Jermaine has a great year, which I don't know if he has had one so far. No, he has not. We have to replace that edge position. That's fine, though. We can manage this. Not having to pay a quarterback is going to be pretty helpful there. Let's do a 5-year deal worth $145. It's a lot of money, but he is the best cornerback in the game at this point. I think by overall, he is probably the best. 5-year $85 for Tippmann. I want to keep as many of the good linemen as I can, especially since we're about to lose Tyron. And we have other guys we probably need to add in. But, $91 million, and don't really have to pay anyone else other than, Moody and, Cole, who I'm not really, dying to pay. To the playoffs, I would be absolutely shocked if we made the playoffs here. It was a really rough season in the first half, and I can't see a realm where we would have been able to turn it around. I will say, though, we did turn it around. We just didn't do enough to make the playoffs. We were literally the final seed that didn't make the playoffs, but thankfully it wasn't as bad as we were the same record. We just didn't have the tiebreakers. Steelers were 10-7. We were 9-8. So it doesn't hurt as much, but yeah, we were 3-7 at one point. Did we beat that Chargers team? That'd be kind of crazy. We did lose to the Chargers, only by 3 though. They were 10-0. We won 6 straight though afterwards. Just not enough. Too many losses beforehand, and unfortunately, this Jets team will not win back-to-back, will not ride out into the sunset with Rodgers and Davante. Rodgers did have a down year, but, this is the type of year that he's kind of at best on par for in real life, if not he'll be worse than this. So this is where you would expect him to be in real life, and this is supposed to be a really bad season here. He did enough. He did enough, and the rest of the team just didn't. Garrett Wilson was decent. I don't know if that's enough for a dev-up, though. Offensive line, Tyron Smith gave up a lot of sacks. Everyone else, I guess even Coakley, since he's a rookie, they weren't terrible. Quentin Williams, 12 sacks. Ritzy, 9, and the edge has still just done nothing. Might have changed to Buffalo. Sauce Gardner was great. Moody was not. Cole was good. I tried to get Cole back. Offered him 3 contracts. None of them went, so whatever. Mahomes wins MVP. Any award wins for us. Rookie of the Year for Griffin, which is good. Running back of the year for Brees, who, I mean, doesn't really need anything because he's already an X Factor. At least we won 2 awards. It's better than no awards. You miss the playoffs and you're kind of thinking, the worst. You're thinking nothing happened. It was a terrible year and it was a waste. Weird spot to be in, though, because obviously you got the Packers and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. You're losing your starting quarterback going into the final season. So really we're just kind of seeing, can we build a roster that looks like it would be formidable in the future? As, okay, I guess we were still... Wait, it doesn't show who won. I don't even care. I don't care enough, to be fair. Let's take a look at our retirements. Khalil Mack went to the Commanders and then retired. Our retirements, Tyron Smith does retire. Wait a minute. As expected. But wait a minute. Did Aaron Rodgers not retire? Is he not going to... Bruh! 43 years old! I mean, he wasn't bad enough to not keep him. This is going to be a weird rebuild. All 4 years is going to have Aaron Rodgers in it. And Davante Adams is still here. I might as well pay him. And we finish this rebuild, if you will, if you want to call it a rebuild at this point, because we're kind of tied into some old players that aren't that good anymore. And we're going to just finish it with those 2 still on the roster. Let's go with a 1 year. I'm going to do 13 because I really want him to just stick around. There you go. Usually you don't see that that player returning. Rodgers, finally, cheaper. Let's do a 1 year 8. Could you imagine Rodgers playing at a 1 year 8? How freaking far the mighty have fallen. Fashanu, it's going to cost a lot of money if you prolong this anymore. I think you lose those 2 edge rushers and you hope there's a god tier edge rusher in free agency. If you build a good enough team around him, maybe Peyton Manning this thing a little bit with the Broncos, we could get back to the Super Bowl. 9-8. I mean, it wasn't really Rodgers' fault. I'll say that. Yeah, once again, this is almost not even a rebuild at this rate. This is like a following the career of cornerback. Isn't a need, right? Like DJ Reed, I suppose, needs to be replaced sooner or later, but maybe not just yet. Stanley sounds like a guy that is too costly. I think this is the type of team that is in the market to make a trade for a proven talent, especially if it's to a team that, can't afford that player's contract that's coming up, maybe. So I think we're going to try to find an edge rusher to trade for. And as much as I want, Trent McDuffie, I think we, pay Laramie Tunsil, get ourselves a really good tackle, kind of pulling off, another Tyron Smith, if you will, here. We have $40 million to make that play. Let's go with Tunsil here right now, who we don't get. Who we still don't get. That's crazy, bro. I guarantee the Cardinals are offering him, the exact same contract, too. Did we get into the green? We didn't get into the green, you know what I mean? We got Tunsil, though. He was smart. He played it smart. He got an extra $2 million out of us, I think. 2-3 mil. But, yeah, let's see if there's any pass rusher. It doesn't have to be truly elite, but mid-80s would be great. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be trading pick 18 and 82 to the Giants for Brian Burns. He's in a weird spot because he's 29, he's an 88 overall. He's only going to continue to regress. But we're kind of doing a 1 year realm situation. He's probably got at least another 3 good years out of him. And like I said, we need a player now. He's that player. Simply put. So back to having that kind of elite talent at edge. I mean, I think it was worth it. All right, and of course, don't have our own first-round pick. We made that trade for Brian Burns, which I think was probably a pretty smart move. We are doing the opposite of a normal rebuild. We are going full on oh, we got some quarterbacks still here. I didn't think they were going to be here, but obviously they all look like crap. Kutcher is the only halfway decent one. He might actually be grabbable. I didn't think we were going to grab this dude, but there's a chance I do. I want to make sure we have everything taken care of. Tight end was on my list, but I don't think we need one. He's a 78 overall 23-year-old. That's fine. Wide receiver, yes, is a problem, but I don't think any of those guys are going to be here that I had on my list. Not really. You have a 6'8 Carrington who's not very fast. 2 linemen because of the future of replacing Tunsil, and then the center's not great, but I could get away with either just one or none. We technically have a starting lineup. Linebacker because Odin wasn't great, but once again, could start him if we had to. Safety, need a replacement, but even then, he's a 75 overall young player, so don't have to replace any of these players, which I think gives me the freedom to maybe take Lance Kutcher to learn from Rodgers for a year. This is a guy that looks like he would be star dev, not for sure, but I think I'm willing to take that chance and see what we got. 56 true talent, that's okay, and he is hidden dev. Yeah, I expect him to be star dev, and he is seemingly likely star dev, which is good. That's fair enough. I can't really complain. Cornerback also is kind of a need going forward. Do we have, we had one corner. I don't know if he's still there. He was a 2-3. He is Nathan Webb. B's across the board. Pretty athletic. I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Nathan Webb. True talent 3. Hidden dev. Okay, that's a good pick. I did not think true talent 3. Based on those B's, I would have expected decent chance at hidden, decent ratings, but probably somewhere in the low 70s, 72, 73 overall. Nope, he's goated. Okay, we'll take it. Is there a chance to maybe get O-line? Because I really do like Collins here. Collins looks good. I also do have a pretty decent safety as well. A to C man coverage, C to F zone. Don't know what the zone is, but he's pretty athletic for a safety. So I think I'm going to move down until we're down to just Collins, who I want the most, or Bradford. We're going to trade a 5th and a 6th this, a 3rd and a 6th next year to move up to the middle of the 3rd round this year to grab that guard Collins. I think that's going to be the smart move to make here. Sure, there's some other wide receiver options and whatnot, but I think O-line is a pretty big need for us. There was also a 6'5" corner in Kendrick Fuller. We'll move down to maybe round 5, and if he's somehow there, we'll take him. Bradford's very interesting as well, but I think 1-2 O-line, he's one of those pass blocking types. I think even though the run block's going to be raw, this is one of those prototypical hidden dev pass blockers, and that's good enough for me. True talent 38, hidden dev, nice win. Brand new center, and even though he's not great, we got an athletic-ish 22-year-old safety named Jesse Dowling with C zone coverage. I can't imagine anything great coming of this, but we'll take the depth, if not anything else. Oh, 153, that's not bad. Damn, normal dev. I was thinking maybe we got lucky with a hidden. Not going to happen. But still a pretty damn good draft, all things considered. You know, you're on the final year. The motivation isn't super there because you're drafting guys that are obviously more future, prone, more future protection-wise. You got this quarterback, you're not going to be able to use him this year because, well, the whole point, he's star dev. The whole point is, if Rodgers is still here, I might as well see this thing through, right? We won our Super Bowl already. The rebuild is already technically a win. That's all that kind of matters. Webb, star dev as well. Unfortunately, just not seeing the higher than star dev players. O-line was a 74 overall. Let's see what he is. Also star dev. Built pretty well to play center. Run blocking and power blocking, though, pretty damn bad. And you know what? The free safety is not bad. 67 overall. I can live with that. That's not terrible. I'm not going to start him, but we got some depth. All right, here is the team for Season 4, a.k.a. the last season. Definitely one of our weirder rebuilds, where we're kind of going down with the ship in, regression fashion. Normally, we would replace the quarterback right now, but it is sort of a more special, different type of rebuild. So it makes sense that we're doing it. Kutcher, he would start 99 times out of 100 in any other rebuild situation. But we have just a good enough team. Did Garrett Wilson go to Superstart last season? I've been kind of focused on Davante and Rodgers. I was about to say I've neglected the rest of the team. I don't even think we looked at the dev ups because we're like, well, Rodgers and Davante can't go up in dev. You're not even really thinking about them. Defensively, Griffin, I do not think was a superstar before. Was he? Was he? He was not. Defensive Rookie of the Year won him that dev up. Let's take a look at the rest of the team. Obviously, there's some shortcomings on this team. Free safety is definitely one of them. Outside linebacker, Odin is one of them. Some of the overalls are lower at some of their positions. Cornerback, DJ Reed starting to fall apart a little bit. Wide receiver, too. Davante Adams is down to an 81 overall. What's his ratings at this point? He's still pretty good at getting open. His catching's good. He's just nowhere near as fast as he used to be. But here it is. This could be a complete disaster, but Rodgers is here at 42 years old. What do you want from me? I have to see this through. We're having a surprisingly good season, so I don't know what's going on with this team. But we have a lot of money, which means a lot of players will re-sign. Fashanu, we need a tackle long-term. I'm trying to think, this almost didn't... See, the thing is, it could have been worse, right? You know what? Going forward, I think if you got a tackle that's at least 82 plus and they have a 5th-year option, I think you just do that. Because even though we decided not to go for the 5th-year option, I'm pretty sure we didn't, we still have to pay him $24 million per year anyways. So there's really not much of a reason, right? That's like almost max for a tackle. The most I ever see is like 26, 28. That's basically max. Of course, you can see a lot of money here for Quinnen. Can we get this down to 37 over 2? Well, not 37 over 2, but you know what I mean? 37 per over 2. Anyone else? Braylon Allen. Has he done anything special for us as like a player? His first 3 seasons were actually pretty good, but this one he's kind of fallen off, so I don't know if I want to keep him. We got money. We don't have to pay like an actual quarterback for a long time, so why not? Tunsil might retire, but if not, maybe there's a chance. Davante 100% is gone. Rodgers 100% is gone. And the rest are kind of like backups. Where even is Rodgers? There he is. The rest are all pretty much backups from there. We had a bit of a slide, but our really good season was good enough to get us into the playoffs with a win, maybe even a bye week. Who knows? And we're back in the playoffs. That's the main point here. We are probably number 2 seed. Yeah, number 2 seed, right behind the Chiefs. Unfortunately, not good enough to get that number 1 seed, which comes with the bye. Really good start. We were like 8-1. We lost 4 in a row. And I was like, are you joking me? But obviously some pretty good teams in there. In fairness, the Chiefs smoked us. I do not want to play them. And then we won the last 4, which, all against division rivals. I don't know what is with this NFC East. Even in our Patriots franchise, you just see these like matchups like constantly just bulked up. Rodgers, really good stuff. 4,100 yards, 39 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Debatably better than last year, right? Breece Hall was pretty good. Garrett Wilson was pretty solid. Adams was good enough. Corley was decent. Covington, a lot of touchdowns, not a whole lot of yards. Tunsil, the game just doesn't care. They just give you random numbers. They don't really care what your overall is. Edge was great, though. Quinnen Williams and Ritzy, usually the guys carrying the load, but no, this time the edge with Brian Burns on the team, 26.5 sacks between the two. Very good. Finally something going on for the pass rush department. Sauce Gardner with 4 interceptions, a couple of picks here and there for other guys. Only Quay Walker got to 100-plus tackles. Younghoe Koo was good enough at 80%. I think 85% for a kicker is good. AJ Cole, 54.4, which is amazing. Caleb Johnson with a kick return touchdown. It's like every 100 seasons you see 1 kick return touchdown, so it is kind of rare. As far as the award wins, no award wins, but close call for some of them. Let's go on, though, to this Bills matchup, talking about this division rivalry, another division game. But here we are. Amari Cooper's still there, by the way. Maybe that's the next rebuild you do. Let me know in the comment section below if that's what you want to see. And here we go to the end of the game. 7-0. The Bills are up. We tie it up 7-all. Be nice to, at least win a couple of playoff games. This is the last run, the last dance, if you will. 14-all. Winning a Super Bowl would be insane, but just at least winning a couple of games. And that's what's going to happen, I think. Very close there at the end. We're going to at least win a playoff game, which is great. Rodgers, right on par with Josh Allen of the year's experience, 22 versus 9. So it's pretty impressive for him to go toe-to-toe there and not have that mobility that Josh Allen does. Impressive. We win the game, and the ride continues to the divisional round after playing a divisional match. The Bengals, 86 overall, 11-6. Another kind of tough team on paper. Chris Jenkins, superstar dev, looking good. Talking about those DTs, low overall DTs, they move. Going to the end of the game, though, 7-0. 7-7, 14-7, 14 all already, 21-14. Oh, huge drive, not going to get a touchdown. That could be the game. It's a 7-point game. Defense is really not. It's not the offense. It's not the offense. Trust me, the offense could be doing better, but the defense is not resisting them. They are literally bending over. Oh my God. This defense really choked. They really blew it. Once again, Rodgers wasn't amazing. The offense wasn't amazing. But, if the Denver Broncos, I keep bringing them up, with Peyton Manning in his final year, had this level of offense, they would have been blowing teams out left and right. It would have been crazy. This defense, however, was awful, and that's the reason why this Jets team is going home in the divisional round without another Super Bowl. Really disappointing. Be interesting to see Davante and Aaron retire at the same time, though, which is quite possible. Davante might stick around one more year, but the age is, there, I think. So we'll see. Let's go to the Super Bowl, see who wins it. I mean, if the Bengals do that to us and they don't win the Super Bowl, I'm going to be kind of pissed. And of course they don't. It's the Chiefs and the Eagles because the Chiefs are in every single Super Bowl. How did we win a Super Bowl again? How is this possible when you have teams like the Chiefs in-game that are unbeatable? I don't know. But we did. I'm happy about it. Whatever. Retirements. Is this the moment? I don't see anyone there. Are you kidding me? Davante retires and Rodgers is still here. What is going on? He's a 67 overall. Okay, so I can kind of see why they do want you to put on dev regression. I'm not going to do another season, though. There's no point. Davante's gone. We didn't win it last year. The team is only getting worse. Let's be real about it. I would want to start Kutcher if I was going to do another season. Garrett Wilson goes to X Factor, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you need a new wide receiver, and then you still need other things that you need to replace. Corner's one of them. Sort of. I can't believe the free safety, though. This guy's a bum, bro. He's been like a 74 overall for 3 seasons. Oh, he's regressing. I don't know what's going on here. He's an 86 speeder. What is happening? This is such a weird rebuild. We won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. I'm happy about it. Let's go take a look at the players and call it a day. I don't know. Garrett Wilson, obviously, he's like, his ratings are up and down, but for the most part, he's a very good wide receiver, obviously. Then we move on to running back, because the wide receivers don't really matter outside of that. Breece Hall, 27 years old. Peak, 99 juke move, 96 change direction, 96 spin move, 93 speed, 92 excel. Very good. Obviously very good. What about the tight end Covington? He's slowly developing. He's normal dev, which definitely has hurt his development speed, but he is still getting there slowly but surely. It's taken him a while, but he's progressing instead of regressing. We actually have a lot of the original Jets line here, so let's take a look at the tackle. More of a power blocker, so do you move him inside to play guard? Maybe. I don't know. Then you move over to AVT, who could play tackle, I suppose. And he is obviously really balanced. I mean, his run block power is not very good, but 79 is good enough, and the rest, really good, really solid. Then we move on to left guard. Tippmann, who is technically a center, moved him over to guard. Finesse blocking is not super great, but power blocking, specifically pass blocking, very good. Very, very weird player, though. I mean, he's got like insane pass block power, really good base pass block, decent run block power, amazing lead block. Finesse is okay. Some up and down ratings there as well. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball. I don't really care too much to see Brian Burns. He just got here. He barely progressed. Speaking of barely progressing, TJ Oden, similar to the safety, really not doing a whole lot here. It is probably because he's playing right outside linebacker and as the sub 3, so he is probably getting like 60% of the snaps, whereas the other 2 linebackers are getting like almost 100%. Quay Walker, the coverage never really got there. I don't even know if he was a good addition or not. He had a lot of tackles for the most part, but never went up in dev, which if you're a linebacker playing the middle, especially a middle linebacker playing this, sub 1, and you're a middle linebacker and you're not deving up, tells me you're probably not doing super well. Usually that's almost a guaranteed dev up situation. Griffith, obviously went up, or Griffin anyways, went up in dev and looks pretty decent. Starks, dev up right out the gate, which in that Raiders rebuild, he stayed star the whole time, I'm pretty sure. So really good start for him. 88 overall is not bad. Super young still. Then we look at Sauce, who's, a true 99 overall across the board. He's the number 1 ranked corner. Catching, he's 79. Everything else, basically 99. Even his tackle is 85 for a cornerback. He's ridiculously good and worth that, near 30 mil per year contract. Probably be worth more than that at this rate. Reed, he's an 83 overall, so there's probably not much to look at him. He's actually lower overall than when he started. Webb, pretty good. Rookie would be taking over the reins there. Carter, 86 overall. It was good. It's taken him a while to finally... he's actually... ratings are better than his overall by quite a bit. But it took him a while to finally actually put the stats up on paper. But if he can continue where he started, this season, not bad, right? Double-digit sacks, finally. Maybe that's the new norm. Quentin Williams, really good. Some ups and some downs. It was 9.5 sacks this last season, but he's obviously super talented. And then Ritzy, developed really nicely. 87 overall with 95 finesse, 95 block shed, 85 power move. It's really weird. These low overall DTs, they get so many insane upgrades. Speed Rusher is just goated of an upgrade in general. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this team. I can't believe Rodgers sticking around at 44 years old. Like, excuse us. Like, we're trying to win Super Bowls here. Could you leave? Davante even left. If Davante Adams retires before Aaron Rodgers in real life, I don't even know what to think. I mean, I don't know. But regardless, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate your continued support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. Kind of thinking about what could be next over on the second channel. As you know, I've talked about it a little bit, especially on that channel with a recent upload, how the game that I've been kind of playing the most over there really isn't kind of the game I liked going, when I first started playing it. So probably going to move on to different games. And I think one of the next games would probably be like COD Zombies when Black Ops 6 comes out. But as far as like other story mode type of games or games that I could play similar to maybe TCM, let me know in the comment section below. What game would you like to see if you guys like the non-Madden stuff? And that's pretty much it. Let me know what rebuild you want to see next as well if you're down there in the comment section below. And that's about it until Monday. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya! Also, once again, shout out to the members of the channel. If you guys are not a member of the channel, you want to join, you can click the join option next to the subscribe button or the channel name itself. And all the details will be in there. But once again, thanks to the members. And hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!